Hey Julian, hope you're okay. Just thought to send you a quick video brief handover today. Just to highlight a few features. Obviously, as you're aware, it is very difficult, very tricky forecast, particularly mid-period and then particularly late on in terms of the way things will go. To a certain extent, I'm going to jump out of days 4 and 5 to a certain extent. I've left them very similar from what I've seen. This early afternoon, what was there this morning, whether it's coincidence or whether it's just by chance. What was in day 4 and day 5, which is now the 6th and the 7th, Saturday, Sunday, look relatively similar, but clearly the development of this plume from the south Friday into Saturday, leads to a lot of uncertainty over low pressure development. So I've kept days 4 and 5 similar. I think it is one of them scenarios where obviously splitting the forecast is not ideal in this setup, simply because what I have day 4 and 5 is as you mentioned in your handover document, when you come to look at it later tomorrow morning, you may need to change it completely. So essentially, I'm just going to leave days 4 and 5 as they are, and obviously modifying them yourself accordingly. So main change really days 6 right through to day 8. The way I've got it is still day 6 on its own, then days 7 to 9. But essentially I've gone with a better or a more significant signal for higher pressure through this period, rather than showers and rain, which were there to a certain extent for parts of the north and west. So obviously just quickly looking at some of the ensembles, because the deterministics are no use whatsoever at the moment. You can't really gain anything from the deterministic and individual models. It's better just obviously to look at the ensembles really to gauge some sort of trend and pattern. So yeah, days 8 through to days 11, overall signal from what I can see is a signal towards higher pressure after whatever happens obviously the coming weekend. So the Canadian, the midnight, obviously just progressing through the sequence, as you can see, 9, 10, 11. You can see how the high seems to build up from the south or southwest when it's located over the UK, quite predominantly, with little or no chance of obviously pressure being at or below 1,010 millibars. The EC midnight is the same as well. Again, just here we are Monday the 8th, continuing through the sequence. You can see how pressure builds from the west and southwest and into the UK. It may well begin to wane by the 11th, but still overall here we are midday on the 10th, and there is a region of higher pressure over the UK to maintain or highlight this signal for higher pressure through this period, leading to predominantly dry and fine conditions. Just flicking through the ensembles, including the deterministic as well, the GFS for the 9th, again just trying to sort of pinpoint a middle picture between the 8th and the 11th. So obviously here we have, this is the GFS, the deterministic. It's Tuesday the 9th, here we are, sorry, yeah, there it is at the bottom, Tuesday the 9th. So it is a signal for higher pressure from the west of some sort, so that's the GFS. This is the NAEFS, strong signal for positive 500 milliharta norms over the UK. Again, still the 9th. This is a GFS ensemble, still strong signal for high pressure over the UK. This is a GEM, again still for the 9th, obviously all these for the 9th, still a signal for higher pressure there. And last but not least, we've got the GFS ensembles bias corrected, which again is still signalling for higher pressure on the 9th. So just combining the 8th to the 11th at the moment, the main change what I've done is just to increase the influence and signal for higher pressure to build into the UK to lead to a more settled spell nationwide pretty much, but just covering back, so to speak, maintaining a risk of some patchy range, a few showers in the far north and west. But overall it looks a relatively decent spell of weather between the 8th and the 11th through into obviously the following week, next week. So potentially nothing to worry about really, and hopefully that signal will be maintained. Yeah. So finally, the final block of the 14 days, 10 to 14. There's a big question mark over that, so I've left it similar. Obviously the overall signal or trend in the last forecast was for high pressure to decline and low pressure to become more influential. So just sticking with the ensembles, this is the height anomalies between Thursday the 11th and Tuesday the 16th. So essentially it's that 5 to 6 day period roughly, covering that window. Obviously it's an overall ensemble mean average between that period, which again is days 9 through to days 14. So this is just the GFS. That clearly shows a far more cyclonic pattern. The NAEFS does have pressure declining somewhat, obviously clearly, particularly compared with the previous period, days 7 to 9, and there is some sort of troughing just to the west and northwest of the UK. The GFS ensembles sort of support the GFS determinists within that period, and you can see obviously lower pressure to the northwest of the UK and a definite signal for more of a trough to be approaching the UK from the west and northwest, and hence that signal potentially for obviously more unsettled conditions. This is the GAM. The GAM is probably the most settled of the lot longer term, so take that as you will. May well be right, it may well be wrong. And last but not least, the GFS bias corrected, which shows higher pressure declining to the south and southeast of the UK, and again potential weakness there between two regions of high pressure to the west and northwest of the UK. So at the moment, days 10 to 14, which is the 12th to the 16th, kept very similar, and maintained a threat for more unsettled conditions, but with a big question mark over that evolution. Temperatures overall generally look to be slightly above, if not above average, but again, the position of any high pressure and the entrainment of any potential polar maritime air, for example, if the high is building from the west or southwest and we get more of a northwesterly, etc. So there's a question mark over temperatures for sure generally, but from what you can see at the moment, and when you're looking at the overall ensemble means in terms of 850s going forward, it looks obviously clearly a much warmer period of weather through to mid-June than of late. So that's how I see it at the moment. Obviously, as ever, it's one of them periods where there's a lot of uncertainty, but time will tell as usual. Cheers for now.